All right, I'm about 10 months into retirement now. So I'm just kind of reflect on, am I happier now in retirement, and some of the pros and cons, and then kind of give my overall thoughts on this. Okay, so the first obvious thing you'll notice is just way more free time. So I would get up at 4 a.m., leave the house by 5 a.m., and usually get home sometime after 5 p.m. So gone at least 12 hours between work, commute, lunch, stopping at the gym, running errands or whatever. So, and could be 6 or 7 days a week, but at least 5 days a week generally. So, that's a lot of extra time you got. So at first you just got this massive amount of time you're not used to it. Almost the first week or two, maybe even a month, it kind of feels like you're on vacation, but after it settles in that this isn't going to end, it's kind of interesting in a couple ways. In a lot of ways, I could see why some people complain about getting bored. But I haven't ran into that problem of boredom at all. Like, I feel like there's enough hobbies, and with the internet and all the resources in the world, books you could read, hobbies there is you could do, and just things you can do, like just making these YouTube channels like this right here. There's just so many things you could do with your time that I find it impossible to get bored from my mindset. It is slowed down, but I wouldn't call that boring for me. So yeah, I'm loving not having to do that, to commute and deal with traffic and spend all that time at work. So just the amount of free time you got is just such a blessing to me. Whereas other people, I feel like they think it's kind of boring. They like the action of it and having something to do. And that kind of falls into another subject in this category where I like structure in my life. So for me, I've got a whole kind of set of structure, but I'm not on any of these timelines either. Like, I had to be at work. It was a hard start at 6 a.m. I had to be there, and then when I took a break, it was a hard 10-minute break. I got to be back to wherever I'm supposed to be, in 10 minutes. So now, unless it's like a doctor's appointment or something, like my structure is I just kind of get up when I get up, no alarms. I get to the gym when I get up, and then I got different things I do, like for a morning routine, like stretching and just little health routines and things I do in the morning. And it takes quite a while for all the stuff I do, but it's not on any schedule too. Some days I might do a little more stretching or foam rolling or, hang from my inversion table. And other days I might just skip some of it and go through it really fast. So yeah, so I like not having that timeline and that schedule in the morning. But I could see how some people, they just want to choose the freedom of it and not have anything like that. But I kind of try to go to bed at the same time, almost like when I was working. I still go to bed early and get up early. So I like structure in my life, and I got even times of the day when I read, almost like it's a job. You know what I mean? I'm going to spend an hour a day reading. I'm going to go to the gym for this amount of time. I'm going to go for an afternoon walk outside or hike or something every day at this time. So yeah, the first thing you'll notice is all that extra free time you're going to have, and some people are going to struggle with that, and it won't be a good thing. But for me, it's a blessing, and I'm loving it. All right, now let's talk about relationships. One of the things I noticed that I really like, this is on the pro side for me, and I'll explain the negative side of it too. So, a job like I had, I was around, hundreds of people every day at my job, and there was all these different personality types, and there were some people to me that were, I'll just say they were jerks, but if you ask them, they would probably say I'm a jerk, so that's all subjective. But to me, they were jerks. So I don't have to be around jerks too much anymore. I mean, you may have a guy you run into as a jerk, or let's say you go to the gym at the same time there's a jerk in there, but really you don't have to interact with them or whatever. But like at a job or something, you got no choice. If your boss is a jerk, your coworker's a jerk, and you're around them, you're around a jerk. And the benefit of that, I think, is I think like everything, it's almost like working a muscle. So your jerk tolerance gets built up when you have to work around a jerk or be around a jerk for a long period of time. You learn how to tolerate it, whatever. So you kind of build up a threshold, and after a while, it kind of gets easy for you. But now that I'm not around jerks or whatever, if I have to be around a jerk for even just a limited amount of time, it's it really is painful to have that guy's thinking and thought processes even pushed into my brain. I don't even want to hear it. I don't want to think, because there's nothing to it. It's all just stupidity to me. So I do lose a little bit of threshold, but all in all, I'm happy to not be so much jerk exposure. I got way more control over that. So that's the first thing I'll say. But I gave you the negative side of that too. You're not working that muscle. Another thing is if your spouse retires too. So my spouse retired a month or two after me. You're going to have a lot more time with that person, way more time, because like I said, I was gone all day, 12 hours a day, and she's busy, and you just don't have a lot of time together. But now we're home all day, and we got all this time together. So if you don't have a good relationship, it's really going to show itself in 10 months. Only in 10 months in, I can see it's already shown itself. And luckily, I have a good relationship, and I'm real happy with my wife and all that. But there have been a little more challenges than I anticipated when we're around each other, adjusting to each other's personality a little bit more. But yeah, I'm loving that side of it. For me, it's working out. But if you don't have a good relationship with your spouse and suddenly you're around them all day, you're going to have to deal with that and fix that. So yeah, and another thing is like you have a lot of these work friends and stuff, and I already knew this going into it because I talked to other retirees and kind of had a mindset of a loner sort of, but you're just not going to have as much interactions with those people because they're going to be out of sight, out of mind. You're going to be out of sight, out of mind, and you're just not going to reach out to each other as much. You could try to keep that relationship up, but it would be work on your part to put the effort into that, and they're just not going to think about you as much. Not that they don't like you or whatever, but you don't have as much to relate to either because you don't want to. You really don't want to hear about the job as much as you used to, and they don't want to talk about the job with you as much as you used to because you're just not involved in the day-to-day. When you do talk, they will give you the day-to-day, and sometimes when I first retired, I didn't even really want to hear about the day-to-day of the people or whatever. So I was kind of avoiding talking to some of them about that because I was just like, I got away from that. I don't want to hear about it. But now that I've been away from it for a while, I kind of like to hear about the day-to-day of people. And even the guys I consider jerks or the people I consider jerks, I don't even mind like just what's happening with them and all that. And even those people, I'm not rooting for them to like not succeed. Even people that I consider jerks or whatever, like if I find myself rooting against anybody in any way, I'm pretty hard on myself on that because I just don't think that's the way to look at life. I'm not rooting for anybody to fail, even people that I don't like. So I try not to have that mentality. So you will lose some friendships or whatever, but it's up to you to pursue relationships or make new ones or put the effort into maintaining the ones you have. But I've definitely noticed a drop off in day-to-day, work friendship people, and I'm okay with that. I knew that going into it, and I didn't expect anything less than that. But you do have new opportunities to make new friends with the new schedule you're on, because now I'm just more relaxed and I can slow down. Let's say a guy at the gym wants to talk to me for a little bit. I don't have to rush through that workout, and because I got something else to do, I can kind of slow down a little bit and stop and engage with that guy in a conversation. And initially when I retired, there's like groups of retirees that go in there, and they spend a long time, like before their workout, after the workout, during their workout, like talking and having these group friendships. And I thought I was going to do that initially, but it didn't take me very long to figure out, no, I want to maintain a high level of health and all that. And I don't think like wasting a bunch of time in the gym is going to be my pursuit of happiness. So I didn't pursue those relationships. I just kind of cut those off and keep them to a minimum because I don't really want my gym time to be like a friendship thing either. I want to be like pretty serious about my workout when I'm in there. But I can stop and have a little more small talk than usual. And then like if a friend randomly calls before, like I couldn't make much time for them, like if just because it was a good time for them to have a conversation, like it might not have been a good time for me to have a conversation, so I would kind of cut them off. But now on my schedule now, I can kind of drop whatever thing I think I'm going to do and just kind of realize I got more free time than them, and they've reached out to me with their little bit of free time they have, and I can just drop whatever thing I'm doing and just kind of take this time and converse with them so I can build that relationship, and I'm more free to engage with them at the time that they chose now. So that's been a benefit for them and me in a relationship. They kind of know now that if they call, I'm going to take the call and pretty much drop everything I'm doing and just kind of, have a conversation with them. But I don't reach out to a lot of my friends as much because I just feel like they're so busy. I just kind of wait for them to reach out to me. And I've met a lot of new people just in like my shopping circles. Like I go to stores and there's regular employees there that I couldn't make much time with, but I've seen them there for years. But now I'll like stop and talk to them for longer. And I'm almost feeling like some of them kind of become friends because I stop and talk to them and we engage pretty frequently because these are stores I frequent, and that's been kind of nice. And also just strangers in passing. I've had some really nice relationships with people that I normally wouldn't have made time for. So that's been fun too. So all in all, relationships, there's a give and a take here. But overall for me, it's been a really a net benefit for me in relationships. I think when a lot of people retire, they kind of identify themselves with their job. So that's kind of their identity. Like I know plenty of people, I work at Honda, they just identify themselves as being like a Honda worker. Whatever they did there or the skill sets they've acquired there, that's sort of their identity. So I think a lot of people probably struggle with that, kind of identifying with their job and that's who they are. But for me, a job was just a way to make money for me. And I never really took too much identity with being a Honda worker. So that's been an easy one for me to shed because I never had that identity thing. But I can see how a lot of people would get that. And then another one that there's some pros and cons to and is financial. So going into, I was a little bit worried. Do I have enough money? I'm not sure I have enough money. Maybe I'll get a job. And I started thinking about getting a part-time job at first. And then I was like, and then I actually signed up for Uber and Grubhub and did all the background checks and things. And I kind of clicked on it to do a couple runs. And for the amount of money I would make and my time and gas and all that, making my car smell like food and all that, it just didn't seem like it was worth it. And then looking at part-time jobs and stuff for what you pay and being on a schedule and all that again, I just like, it's just not worth it. I'm just going to at least take a year off and not do anything. So as I took the year off and considering going back to work, at least with our finances right now, we're spending a lot more. I will say that. Me and my wife both, we're spending more now than when we were working. This might be a passing phase, but I doubt it because we're traveling more. We're doing a lot of little weekend trips. We're going on more vacations. We're buying more stuff just because you're home to buy stuff. And then we go to the grocery store too and buy more stuff too because like you're on the way home from the gym, whatever. It's like, oh, let me run in here and get a couple things. So we're just spending more. And that could all be alleviated if you, come up with a budget and stick to it. But for right now, we're not doing that and we're spending more. And then once we start really getting into home projects, like that's going to go up too. So yeah, definitely spending more now. But what I have noticed is like our money, our investments are doing pretty good. And of course, this just depends on how you're invested in the economy and how much you have. But we're making so much money that we're not really outspending our investments. So that's working out pretty good. So it's kind of alleviated some of my fears of money I might need to make or if I'm going to run out of money or whatever. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with where I'm at on the financial side. I didn't realize our money could work for us so well. And also, I feel like I could go back to work at any time now and take on a job if I wanted to, especially after the more time I got off. I would maybe be open to, having this little break and going back to a job. So it would be real easy for me to jump back into a job. But this time I would pick something that I enjoyed going to work every day, or at least somewhat like going to work every day. Because the job I had, I did not like going. I had good days there. It wasn't like every day was a bad day. But I kind of always dreaded going in there and never really liked it. It was just a job, So I wouldn't want to put myself in that position again. So as far as finances and identity and just not having to, do the grind of a job, I'm way happier on all these fronts too. And I don't have the uncertainty if I got enough money or anything once I've been retired a little bit. And so this is working out pretty good for me too. All right, now, do I think my mental and physical health is better since I've retired? Mentally, spoiler alert, yeah, it's way better. My mental health, I feel like, is way better. I got more patience because I don't have to be in a rush anymore. I can stop and smell the roses. That's a vast improvement. Not that I still don't get grumpy or whatever sometimes or get kind of anxious or feel like a little bit overwhelmed. Sometimes I'll think I got to get all these things done or start, building the to-do list. It gets really big and I can feel myself feeling overwhelmed, but I can kind of catch myself and reframe that pretty quickly. So that's really nice. And just, not having to deal with people all the time is just, that's a huge blessing to me. And my pets are a big stress relief for me. And I just didn't have to make time for them as much, when I was working, and just to spend time with them and have that time, it really does a lot for me, and that really helps with my mental health. And having more time with my wife too, that's really good for my mental health. So overall, even though I'm not working like dealing with the challenges, working the mental muscle of that, dealing with the mental challenges of dealing with hard, difficult people, I'm happier not dealing with that. I don't need that challenge. So I'm definitely way better off now. Physical wise, some of my morning routine and stretching stuff and all that has ramped up, and I think those things are good for me, and that's better. But I still haven't found a way to match the calorie burn I did. I had a pretty physical job. I don't know that I'll ever get to that that level of burning the calories I did there, even by adding cardio and stuff. So yeah, I definitely fell off there. But I have got stronger because I got more time and more recovery for doing strength stuff. So I'd say I'm definitely getting stronger. So that's good. Probably a little more flexible too because I have a little more time to stretch, and that's good. But as far as cardiovascular health or whatever, I'm at least where I was there, even though I'm not up on my feet and doing as much all day. I'm doing more cardio, longer sessions and more sessions than I was there. So I've improved there. So the only downside really on the physical part is I'm just not burning the calories I was taking in. So I am gaining body fat a little. So I'm going to work on that through diet. Going into the new year, I'm pretty good at New Year's resolutions. So overall, my physical and mental health is really up. There's only really one negative, it's just the calorie burn thing. So I think I just need to decrease the calories going in. And I think that's the easiest control barrier. And that could be done. It's not like I don't know how to do that. So I'll work on that in 2024. So overall on that one, it's another win for me. I think I'm overall healthier, and one hand washes the other in that. Your physical and mental health are definitely combined. There's science on that showing that now. Like if your mental health ain't good, it's drastically going to affect your physical health. So, and your physical health actually has an impact on your mental health too. There's endorphins and chemicals that your body releases when you're in good physical health that transfers into your mental health too. So one hand washes the other in that too. So mental and physical health go hand in hand, and I feel like I've improved both here. All right, so I think you guys already got the picture here. I'm way happier in retirement life. This has been the best chapter of my life so far by far. I love it. I just love all the freedom. And I love the modern society we're living in with the internet and all this. I mean, there's just so many subjects you can learn about. There's just an unlimited world of possibilities out there of things you could get involved in. And I've got lists and ideas in my head of, a mile long of things I could get into and do. I haven't done a lot of them yet or whatever. They're just, it's nice to just relax a lot too and not jump into all these things. So yeah, I'm loving retirement life. It's great. But there's still some challenges to it. It's not like, I'll just give an example. This hadn't happened, but you're still going to have a hot water tank break at a bad time. You're going to have an injury, you're going to get sick, or your car's going to break down. All that stuff's going to happen still. It's not like you're living in a fantasy world. But it's so easy for me to reframe that. Like now it's like, I always tell myself, well, this would still be happening, except you'd have a job to go to, and you'd have to figure out how to fix this hot water tank, while you're working a job in between all this. So I don't have to do all that now. So even that stuff, when you reframe it, is just better, whatever. But at first, even when any little bad thing happened, it was a big deal. Or honestly, now sometimes it feels like a big day. Like if I got to make a couple phone calls and I got to get a haircut, like, ooh, this is a big day. Whereas that was just something I threw in while I was working. So, I got such a routine going of things I do, I keep myself so busy that, even a couple phone calls and a haircut thrown in kind of is a monkey wrench in my day, which is good. I laugh about it. So it's all good. I'd like to hear feedback from you guys on, what do you guys think about retirement? If you're retired, what's your pros and cons to it? What challenges have you thought? Do you agree with my assessments? What do you think about this style? I'm only a couple videos into it. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do here. Am I rambling too much? Give me any feedback you got on your retirement thoughts and what I'm doing here with this channel. And if you made it this far, like, subscribe, and comment. That helps the algorithm. And I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch.